Are you ready?
My coach, Barbara H. Smith. Why did I hire her? Because she's the best.
Barbara H. Smith is a powerhouse. She just walks in the room and grabs your attention, and she does that in a way that just makes you feel loved and like she's paying attention to you, she cares about you, and she wants to see you be your best self.
The coaching that I am receiving from Barbara H. Smith gives me confidence.
She was able to dig inside and find a passion that was deep within me.
Barbara's energy is one of the reasons that I had to have her as my coach. I love the way she is real with people.
The reason I felt like I needed a coach was because I have some big goals and I needed to build my confidence. I knew that Barbara could help me do that.
One conversation with Barbara H. Smith and she will be able to tell you what it is you're missing.
I felt that I could trust her.
I would definitely recommend to get coaching from Barbara H. Smith if you feel like you need to level up your confidence. She would just help you feel like bold, like you can take on the world.
She has really shown me who I am. She has changed my mindset to a place that I know that I am more powerful today than I would have ever been if I had never met Barbara Smith.
Here we go. Here we go. Yes. So glad to see you out there tonight. Just like any other night, any other Tuesday night, we have an amazing guest on our show tonight. But before we get started with that, there's so many things going on. One of the things that's going on is the Black Business Expo USA. If you don't know what that is, check it out on Facebook. Go to the website, www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. One of the largest Black business showcases in the history of Black America and in the world. And guess who is going to be on the platform on June the 11th at 1 p.m. to present Unleash the Speaker Within. I am telling you that if you miss the Expo is not only showcasing businesses, it is giving you seminars, it is giving you information that you can use to grow yourself personally, or especially if you own a business. You're going to get so much information, so much value, and guess what? You just come for free. Just go to the Facebook group, blackbusinessexpousa.com, but the website is www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. And if you are a speaker, presenter, webinar hosting person, and influencer, this is the place to be. Why are we doing the Expo? We do the Expo to help our children in the community. We do the Expo so that kids can go to college. We do the Expo to expose our children to up to $5,000 in scholarship money and laptops, giving them the resources and tools they need to get into college. So join us June the 7th through the 13th at the Black Business Expo USA.com. And now, after all that's been said, I want to talk to you about our guest today. Cheree Owens is the president and CEO of Labs to Go. Originally from California, she decided to work in the medical profession after her younger brother went to a routine doctor visit for a physical and was diagnosed at 17 with leukemia. It changed her family's life instantly and forever. Her brother needed a bone marrow transplant, and she was tested, but she wasn't a match. Thankfully, her older brother was. The experience of getting her blood drawn intrigued Cheree so much that she went to school to be, get this, a phlebotomist and a lab assistant. Cheree knew she wanted to own business, her own business, and so she studied to become a business management degree holder. After working at one of the largest hospitals in San Diego, California, she moved to Virginia. And Cheree has worked for some of the largest laboratories in the state of Virginia. What she saw, though, was disturbing. She saw those whose health were deteriorating because they didn't have transportation to get lab services. Cheree started thinking, how many people have those same transportation issues? People with disabilities, people who are waiting for their families to transport them, or people who just didn't have the money for lab work. So she grew tired of watching all of these obstacles for these patients and discovered that no one in Hampton Roads was meeting their needs. So what did she do? She decided, I'll do it myself. And then birthed Labs to Go. Help me welcome to the show my girl, Cheree Owens.
Hey.
Here we go. Hey, lovely.
How are you?
I am so good. If I got any better, it'd have to be two of me. And you know the world ain't ready for that.
They're not ready.
They're not ready for that.
They're not ready.
I'm so happy you're on the show today. I want to start talking first about your first inkling that you wanted to be a phlebotomist. Blood-sucking people scare me. Okay, I'm just going to say that right out front. But you decided to be a phlebotomist. Talk about that story.
Okay, well, as you said at the beginning, I had the whole experience just from what my brother went through. And I was looking for something different anyway. So I was very intrigued by the whole blood draw process. I decided to go to school with it, and voila, here I am. From there, I feel like it was just the beginning of what I have now, because I was able to take that experience of working in labs to branch off into different services. So when I came to Virginia, I was able to work for more labs and learn even more services. And so it was pretty much like, it was pretty much a give or take. It was like, okay, I like the field. I'm learning all these things I want to learn. And, let me tell you my story if you don't mind. So
please do.
I was working for one of the big laboratories, and this is like so intriguing, especially for individuals who want to start their own business and really are scared to step out on faith. Okay. Faith was nothing. It was nothing but faith to get me into this business. So I was working for one of the big laboratories, but I was placed in a doctor's office as the only phlebotomist for this doctor's office. So we all know, when you are a mother and you have children, we always want the best for our children. My son was actually 9 months old at this time. And I was praying on it. I said, Lord, I need something better. I feel like my paycheck is just going to daycare. And so I started a company called Phlebotomy Experts, where I was strictly just doing blood draws, and I was doing it for life insurance agents. It was called paramedical exams. So I would leave work, get off work at 3:30. I would go, pass out my business cards at a lot of the life insurance companies, and the key was get their physicals done accurately, efficiently, and they was basically word of mouth. So within a month, I think I had over 40 agents calling me for doing all their exams. So I'm sitting here like literally working a full-time job, coming home at 10, 11 o'clock at night with a 9-month-old, right? So I prayed on it. I was like, Lord, you're going to let me know when it's time to walk away from corporate America. You're going to, let me know. My goal was to have over 40 agents by the end of the year. But like I said, I accomplished it in 1 month. So I'm in the room, and I'm the only phlebotomist there. I closed the door, and I prayed on it. And I felt a tap, and I'm scared because I'm like, I'm the only one in here. And I heard this voice say, are you ready? And I'm looking around like, what? March 2008. I put in my 2-week notice, and I walked away from corporate America, and I went into being Phlebotomy Experts. My room over my garage was my business, my office. I started hiring people that I worked with at the lab, and it was now their part-time job, extra money for them. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and Again, it slowed up things, but I was like, I don't want to just do blood work. I want to do other things. Let me take what I was learning in the field working for these other companies and put it into one company. So therefore, I decided I wanted to do drug testing. I wanted to do DNA testing. I was like, mobile, mobile services with all this where I could provide it to consumers as well as employers. And that's what made me go leave Phlebotomy Experts business name to Labs to Go. So it made it more, expanded out to more services. So it was truly a blessing. It's something that's definitely a need. And I'm now nationwide. I do have independent contractors nationwide where I'm able to provide services in different states. And here we are.
So that's a really, really cool story. I want to dig more into the services. Like, what services are you talking about?
We do DNA testing where we do paternity tests. Fathers want to know if the child is theirs. Grandparents want to know if it's their grandchild. We do drug testing where individuals, parents, employers, they could come into our facilities. I have 2 walk-in facilities here in Virginia Beach, as well as being able to provide the service mobile on site, which helps employers with downtime. Employees saying I have to leave work early to go get this drug test if it's a random, or I need to leave at lunch. We just cut it all excuses. We could come on site. Our hours of business is very very convenient. As far as you can be here as early as 7 a.m. as late as 6 p.m. So we really make it convenient. And not only that, we also provide lab testing. So with the lab testing is very, very great, because I call that pretty much is lab testing, but I always say monitor your health yourself. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people rely on their insurance to basically cover their labs. However, you cannot go to your doctor and say, test me for cancer. He's going to say, their family history, there's no reason really for me to test you for cancer. And if they do, the insurance company is going to say, there's no need of this. Let me send them the bill, which may be about $3,000 or $4,000 for those labs. Where we have an ordering physician for Labs to Go, and you can order any lab test you need or want. And that $4,000 will be actually $200 out of your pocket using the same lab that your doctor will use. So what we do is we take our discount of savings and pass it over to our consumers.
That is so huge. I want to talk about that a little bit more, because you said something really crucial that I don't want our viewers to misunderstand or miss. You said you can have a lab test that the doctor didn't order.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. Who knew that? I mean, you always think that when you go to the doctor can only order the lab test you want. So explain how you decide, give me an example of a test that a doctor might not order for you that you might want for yourself.
A cancer panel. And I have if I can elaborate on that and the reason why. Okay, so being in a laboratory, I pretty much know what people need, what is usually monitored for a yearly checkup. And also just the need of an individual of what they want versus having to go through their doctor or deal with their insurance. So I created some of my own panels. I had like a woman's cancer panel, a woman's health panel, men's cancer panel, a men's health panel, children's panels, things of that sort, where I took different labs and put them into these panels. So I, being with my brother, being diagnosed with leukemia, no one in our immediate family had any types of cancers. I can't even really think of anyone, even grandparents, who might have had cancer. So I created the panels for men, women for cancer. So I was at a networking meeting one day and I met this young lady. And when I got up to introduce myself and tell her what Labs to Go did, she came to me afterwards. She said, hey, I really haven't been feeling good. I know my body. We all know our bodies. She's like, my hair's thinning. I'm always tired. I go to my doctor. They do these tests. They say nothing's wrong. She's like, but I know my body. So she
Right.
was like, hey, I want to do your cancer panel. Can you come to my office? No problem. So she had her lab work done. And once she had her lab work done, a friend of mine who's a holistic doctor looked over her results, and she told her, she said, I think you should start cancer treatment, but follow it with your primary care physician. So she's like, start cancer treatment, but follow up my primary care physician. I think I'm gonna just go follow up my primary care physician with these results.
Right.
So she goes and follow up her primary care physician, and they're like, no, nothing's wrong. You're fine. So we want to hear that. We want to hear we're fine. And we just think we're okay and it's good news to us. And we go about our life. Well, that was in 2012. I want to say 12. Yes, 2012. This young lady used to travel a lot overseas and do business overseas. So she would leave and, be out of town, no contact, because her and I became friends.
Right.
So 2014, she sent me an email and she said, Cheree, you remember that panel I had in 2012? Yeah. I was like, yeah. She's like, she said, well, how about my doctor just contacted me and told me they want me to start cancer treatment for 6 months.
Stop it.
I said, what? She's like, yeah. She had, don't quote me, but it was a triple something breast. It was breast cancer, right? This is 2014. So 2012, she had to test through me. 2014, they finally diagnosed her and wanted her to start 6 months of chemo. So she started 6 months of chemo. She had both breasts removed.
You gotta be kidding me, Cheree.
I'm being honest with you. That was 2014. Me and her, we became friends. We would hang out, go eat together, and things of that sort. So the cancer from the radiation and everything, she ended up going to her lung. So then she had one lung. And I came to her house because we offer this food allergy and sensitivity test that tells off of your DNA what you should and shouldn't eat. So I gifted that to her because that's usually like a $700 test. I said, I'm going to do this test for you for free. I went to her girlfriend's house who she was staying with, who was helped take care of her because she was literally, with one lung. It took her 45 minutes to come out the room to me so that I could draw her blood for this test because she could barely breathe with one lung. And to see her like this, I was so devastated because we were friends. She was good. We were going out to eat, doing things together. And that was 2014. That test helped her see what she shouldn't eat. So she went another 2 years fine, doing a lot of things, hanging out on Sundays, brunching with her friends. 2019, February 2019, she passed. Yeah. And I kicked myself for that because she would call me and say, hey, let's go here. They're going to have a live band. And I was so busy. I learned that. Never be too busy to be with your friends and family. And yeah, she got sick. And of course, her immune system was gone and she's gone. And she wasn't even 40, probably the older she was. I want to say 47 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you talked about these panels. That's such a tremendous story.
Yeah.
You talk about these panels that you do. When you say panels, you're talking about different tests in a series.
Panels. Yes. Uh-huh.
So there's I can't remember, there's a panel that you do that most doctors don't want to build insurance for. And I want you to explain to the audience, not just about the panels that doctors don't order for you, but what's the advantage, obvious advantage to me, but what's the advantage to finding out what different panels there are to be tested against for a client?
When you say the advantage of the different panels,
yeah,
it all depends on the individual. Like I said, you want to know what you shouldn't eat. We have food allergy and sensitivity tests.
That's the one I want. That's the one I need. That's the one I need to know about. Talk to me about that one right there.
Okay. So with this test, we have partnered with a laboratory that does specialty lab where they do strictly food allergy and sensitivity. So it goes off of your blood. Okay. So Barbara, you and I may knock on wood, but just say we both diabetic. The doctor is going to tell us the same thing. Stay away from this, and this, right? That's what they're going to tell us. You're right or wrong.
Right.
But we're not the same people.
That's
you know,
right.
so we're not the same person at all. Your DNA is different from my DNA. So with the test, the blood is taken, is ran to the lab, and they run the testing to see what you should and should not eat. And they give you a whole printout. And the things that we sit and frown about, red meat, oh, it's the worst thing ever. But it might be your best friend. It might be my enemy, but it might be your best friend. Things that you're eating every day, spinach, chicken, turkey, things that you think is healthy, beets, things of that sort, may not be good for you. But you're going off of what is said, standard, this is good for us or anyone. You know what I mean? This is healthy for me or for anyone. So that test actually lets you know what you shouldn't and should eat off of your DNA. And then it goes deeper. You might think antibiotics, anti-inflammatories may not be good for you. Aspirin might be actually good for you. Not good for me. I found out that naproxen is the best thing for me. Aspirin is not. I did the test on myself because I was having problems with wondering why my hair was thin, things, I understand I'm getting older, but I'm like, hold on, this hasn't never been my problem. I did that test and I went deep into it. I found out I had a deficiency in iodine, B6, a lot of stuff that contributes to hair. Guess what? I started doing just regular vitamins with those supplements. No more problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me about the cost of a test that you don't send through insurance, like the allergy sensitivity test.
Okay.
Give me kind of a range.
So it can range anywhere from $199 to $995. It just depends on what you want. You can do even chemicals, molds to see, what, just everything, what you shouldn't be around. Like my son, I did it for my kids. My son is not supposed to have fluoride. Period.
What?
Yes. So I buy him the Tom's toothpaste. And the only meat he's supposed to eat is lamb. That is the only meat he's supposed to eat. And my daughter, she's not supposed to have white potatoes. So my daughter would come home from school, and I have theirs on the refrigerator. And she would be like, Mommy, I have a headache. And she would literally come in from school before the COVID and go to sleep for the rest of the day. And I say, Kari, what did you eat for lunch today? Oh, I had French fries. That's white potatoes. You're not supposed to have that. She's like, I know. Kiwi, she's not supposed to have it. My son's supposed to have it, but she's not. Of course, wow. How she eats it. I see a difference. She got a headache, her stomach hurt. She's complaining about something, So it's really, really, really a test that is very beneficial.
That is awesome. I got Donna Graves out there asking the question, where can we get this test?
Labs to Go. When you need to know, contact Labs to Go.
Say it again.
When you need to know, contact Labs to Go.
And give them the information right now for their listening pleasure.
You can reach us at 757-490-8888, or you can visit one of our Virginia Beach locations. You do not need an appointment. You can just walk in. If you want to see the hours of operations, visit our website at www.labstogo.com.
That is so amazing. And you have 2 locations in Virginia Beach. Give me the 2 locations that you have.
One is on Parliament Drive off of Newtown Road and Princess Anne Road. And our other location is inside of Big Charlie's Truck Plaza on Northampton Boulevard. We do our physicals are over there. We do all the services over there, but our doctors are over there. So if you need a physical for the CDLs, that location was chosen because we do the CDL physicals, and all the truck drivers go there for showers, gas, things of that sort. And even if they're not from here, they can come in and get their physical and get back on the road.
That is amazing how you came up with the Labs to Go concept. And I'm curious about how the mobile units work. How does the mobile process and service work? Tell me about that.
So let me tell you about the mobile service. Okay, so I didn't really get into that part when I told you how God tapped me on my shoulder and told me it was time for me to walk away from corporate America. So how it began was at that doctor who I was working with at that time, in his office, he had a patient who had a very high potassium level, and he's freaking out. He's a great doctor, very great doctor. Really, take the time out with you and your health. I can really, highly recommend him. So he's freaking out. He's like, call her. She needs to get back in here. And it was an elderly lady. So I contact her, and she was like, I got to wait till my son gets home from work at 4:00. It was 4:00. It was too late. So it was around the holiday season where it was pretty slow in the doctor's office at that time. So I told the doc, I said, do you mind, since she doesn't live far from here, if I just pack up some things? And it wasn't even part of my job duties at all. So I packed up my belongings, everything I needed, and I drove to her house and drew her blood and came back. And that's actually when the light bulb came on. I was like, that's where so many people need this service. There's so many people who are dependent on their loved ones, so many people who are homebound, so many people who just don't have transportation and need someone to come to them. So Labs to Go with that mobile piece, it's like a missing link, especially now with COVID. A lot of people don't want to go out, so it's the missing link. So with the mobile service, we don't have a truck, we don't have a van, we pretty much just go out in our vehicles and we go into the homes and we draw the blood, which a lot of people are more comfortable, especially when you're dealing with people who are homebound and bedridden. They can't come out anyway, and a lot of people are afraid of needles. So to be in the comfort of their own home also help ease, their, being so scared of needles anyway.
That white coat syndrome.
Exactly.
The thing that interests me most is now that we're in the COVID environment, are people more skittish about you coming into their homes though?
No, because we come in with PPE and, we come in fully gowned, shields, masks, things of that sort. So we actually come in with full PPE.
That's great. We are at the top of the hour. Oh my God, this has been an amazing conversation with the owner and CEO of Labs to Go, Cheree Owens. We want to give you the commercial break, but don't you go away. We've got more exciting information to provide you right after this commercial break.
Labs to Go is your vaccination destination for students, teachers, nurses, or anyone wanting to get first-time seasonal and booster immunizations. We also offer titers to ensure you're immune to vaccine. At Labs to Go, there are no doctor orders or insurance needed. We can come to you because we are Labs to Go.
Get your vaccination at our office, or we can come to your business, school, or even go to your home. When you need to know, call Labs to Go.
Go ahead, Cheree. That was Cheree up there. That was so cute. That was so awesome. So I want to talk to you about the vaccinations. The commercial says you do flu, you do different kinds of vaccinations. Are you doing COVID-19 vaccinations?
I am not. And the reason why I'm not is because it's pretty much controlled by the government right now as far as who gets it. And the thing about it is I do not bill insurance at all. So the thing that I look at is, okay, I don't bill insurance. People will have to pay out of pocket. Being it governed by the government is controlling that. I can provide it, but I would have to bill insurance, and if I was to give it for free, I would have a waiting room full of people aligned down the hall for free vaccinations. So right now I choose not to give, even though I can give it, but I cannot charge for it currently because it's controlled by the government. So eventually, once they feel, I'm assuming once they feel that enough people have been vaccinated, they will open up to businesses like myself, and I can get those vaccines like I'm getting other vaccines now.
Right. And those vaccines, all of the vaccines that you provide are, you say you're not billing insurance, so they're paying it out of their pocket.
Mm-hmm. Pay out of pocket. Yeah. And that's again a good thing for individuals. We are direct to consumer. So when individuals want to go to, let me put it like this. A lot of people who are in school, nursing school, things of that sort, they need to get in for externship or internship or whatever the case may be. They have to make an appointment to see their doctor, which might be a month down the line. And turn around and try to get a flu shot, a tetanus, or whatever the case may be. However, they can just walk into Labs to Go, get their vaccination, and they got the proof to show to their school.
That makes it so much easier for them.
Yes.
So you talked about internships and externships. Do you provide internships and externships for people in your company?
I do. I actually provide externships. I done probably had over 100 and plus, and still counting externs, which I look at as a really advantage for not only Labs to Go, but also for the student, because we're actually giving them an opportunity to get hands-on on the 9 different services we provide, and experience they wouldn't get from just an ordinary externship. So all of my employees were all once my externs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know what an intern is. Explain more about what an extern is.
So an extern, you don't pay for experience, on the job training experience. An intern, you can get paid for it. So when an extern, it depends on their school. They might need to have 160 hours, 140 hours, whatever the case may be. So I deal with probably about 4 or 5 schools here in Hampton Roads where I get their externs, and they really get hands-on. And the reason why I hire them, because, I always tell them what you do as an extern, you would do as an employee. And I sit back and watch how serious they take it. And not only that, they're actually seeing how Labs to Go operate from the ground up. So when I decide to hire them, it's pretty much they just roll right into that position of an employee.
So you got a couple of people out here. Excuse me. Rosa Marshall said, "What an awesome testimony you have, Cheree."
Oh, thank you.
And Donna Graves says, "Where were you when she was in school?"
right. I really enjoy hosting the externs, because not only are they learning that, but I actually feel like I could also mentor them, because they look at me and they say, "Oh, how did you start this business?" and things of that sort. And I always tell them, hey, go for whatever it is you want to go for. If you coming in, a lot of them are medical assistants, and then they, talk about being RNs and LPNs, and I try to push them to stop going step by step and just go straight to the goal. So it's really interesting, because I meet a lot of different people, as far as externs that they come from, some are local, some are out of town, and who came here military, and just from all walks of life, and it's really pleasurable.
That's awesome. So now I want to switch the conversation a little bit and talk about how you and I initially first met.
We first met, well, let me think. Hold on. Before you use my business card, I'm just trying to think when I first met you. Oh, do you remember when we first met, or where?
I do.
Wait, let me.
You gonna remember?
Wait, I'm trying to. Okay. I don't know how I got in contact with you, but I know I took one of your classes over in Hampton or Newport News.
Right.
And we spoke from there about you being my business coach. And from there, everything was where we are now. I can't remember how I originally got in contact with you, or how I knew about your class.
The Represent Your Brand class was being conducted face to face. I don't know how you got that information. I was glad you did. You came to the class, and you were very quiet, but very curious about how you could build your speaking business so that you could go out and present. And then you sat in the class and took copious notes about the introduction, the biography, the one sheet. Tell me how that has helped you, changed you, affected you in any way.
Well, as a business owner, a lot of us never find or feel like we have time to really work outside the business. A lot of times, you find yourself working so much in the business that you don't really master your own presentation or your own, yourself to others. So to me, I felt like eventually I don't want to just be in the business. I want to delegate this off to one of my employees, and I want to be able to, mentor and speak to others about business or talk about health or just, anything that I experienced or anything I have learned being in business, because this is something that I truly built from the ground up, like literally a seed that I planted and constantly watered to be where I'm at today. And it was nothing but God, and a lot of people are afraid of being patient in business, so I want to be that person where I can say, don't look at my success, but listen to my story and trust the journey, and I feel that if I have a better way of, reaching out to people, or I don't want to say, I used to say motivational speaker, but I can't say motivational because you can only be motivated by God. I can inspire you. So I say I'll be an inspirational speaker, where I can inspire you to do whatever it is you want, but I need help. I need help with that. So I always say, success leaves clues. I leave that to people like Miss Barbara H. Smith, and then you leave me to the medical.
That's exactly right. But here's what I want people to know about your journey. Yes, you said something very key about business. We are so busy as business owners working in our business that we don't work typically on our business. And part of that working on our business is self-development. So I applaud you for taking the time out. Represent Your Brand was all about work. I mean, I said it's a workshop. So you don't just shop, you work while you're there. We did have some vendors there for you to shop, but we were working on our craft. How do you present yourself when you're in public? You're a business owner, but people are asking you all the time, what do you do? Right? Yes. And you've got to be able to tell them in less than 5 seconds, because if you don't, you lose their attention.
Right.
And if they don't understand phlebotomist, they don't know what that is. Right. You have to be able to say something to them that lets them know what you can do for them.
Right.
And that's the key. So I am so excited about your success. You also took a class that was kind of rough. I want you to talk about that some.
Well, thanks to you, I got into that class. It was so, let me tell you, that class I am so grateful for. It's called Scaling for Growth. And for those that don't know, it's basically the state invests in business owners to show them how to create a 3-year plan and be able to, and this is the great thing, be able to have a business without ever seeing your business down the line. So you know how we say, oh, who's the owner of McDonald's or Chick-fil-A? You'll never see them because they're out enjoying life, but they have set up their plan to delegate and be able to walk away from, because when you're a business owner and you're doing everything, it will take too much of you that nothing will get done if you're not around.
That's right.
So with that class, it really showed us how to make a 3-year plan, take us out of being responsible of doing everything, delegate it to whoever is doing it. If you got employees or you have assistant or whoever, to basically take those tasks. Because this class, when we went in that class before the COVID, I was that class that was in attendance during COVID. So we went to meeting physically weekly to virtual, and you couldn't even have your cell phone. When you walk in the class, your cell phone got to go in a bucket, which was great because we're constantly on our, feeling like we can't miss this, we can't miss that, what's going on. But the class was telling you that you're not going to always be there. So you might as well get used to it now of having a business without being at the business or running the business. And a lot of people never see the exit. They never see the exit strategy. It's like, I'm a work. Well, in that class, they had different people who came and spoke with us and let you know, even though I was blessed to have a good team of financial advisors and things of that sort. But I seen people who was in business in my class who's been in business longer than me, who had no idea what a QuickBooks was, who had no retirement plan, who didn't even know what a profit and loss statement was, a balance sheet. But these people, to get in that class, your business had to make anywhere from 250,000 to I think it's 1.5 million or 1 million, the max. And I'm like, some of you people are making more than me, and you don't know this stuff. Like, where were you going? They never had an exit strategy. It's like, I have a business, I have a successful business, and this is where I'm at.
And I'm going to stay there forever.
I'm going to stay there forever. I'm like, I ain't working all my life. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm trying to leave a legacy, not a letter.
You're trying to leave a legacy, not a what?
A letter. Well, here's the letter. Mommy was great and successful, and mommy loves you. I hope you learn from me and find your way.
That is amazing.
But yeah, it was an excellent class. And I tell anyone, if you have the opportunity to get in a Scaling for Growth class that the economic development is Hampton, I believe economic development has to offer, definitely by all means get in if you're serious about your business.
Now here's the thing. You can say that hindsight being 2020, but tell the real story now. When you was going through this class, you was calling me all kinds of names. Whoa.
Let me tell you, I was gonna quit. And I had a quarter, but I was going to quit a couple times because it's so, you know what?
It's intense.
I want to say intense, but me personally, I can be a procrastinator, and I can honestly say that. But I can, but I have to have somebody accountable. And it made me accountable. And our speaker, Ms. Rita, was the best, and she held us accountable. And that right there showed me that, we too have hiccups as business owners. We too have weaknesses. We too need to still get that push. We still need to be slapped into reality and say, look, this one needs to be done. This has to be done. And this is the deadline. Because I push something up. You know how it was, Barbara. You know,
yes,
you had me telling me, make sure you write this down, make this whole, planner, because I would push things off. But I was held accountable. So even our classmates, we had accountability partners within, we had a CEO group of 4 of us where we were accountable to each other. But that class was nothing but the right awesome opportunity. And then Mark Warner, everybody, a lot of the Senate's, I'm telling you, we have connections to the Senate's, the email, like if we need to voice something, we now have connections to those people. I can say I know people in high places now.
I thought I was one of those people in high places.
You are too. But let me tell you, it really was, honestly, it was very informational class that I would say any business owner strive to get to the point to be qualified to get in it. It's worth it. That class should push you to push your business so you can be a part of that class.
So speaking of business, let's talk more about the business designations for African-American females and what you can do on the federal level if you so choose.
Oh,
are your designations in order? I know they are, but
yes, I'm SWAM, I'm DBE, woman-owned small business, I'm small woman-owned, I'm woman business enterprise. I'm working on some other certifications, but saying that to say that having those certifications, it puts you above a lot of those companies that don't have it. So for instance, if you want to go for federal contracts, state contracts, it's good to have those certifications. So a lot of the services that we provide, a lot of companies around here don't provide. So we provide a lot of services to the colleges, and it's easy because once they go into that database, they have to use EVA, right? They have to use who's in that database. So one of my stories, 2020, usually when you're a federal, it's very, very hard to become a prime contractor. A lot of times I always used to hear, going to different seminars and things of that sort, it's good to be a subcontractor of a prime, and then you kind of make your way up. But let me tell you about my God.
Go ahead, girl.
Let me tell you, I applied for FEMA in California when the pandemic hit, and I just put in my bid, didn't think nothing of it, and get this email: you are awarded. I was awarded the prime. My first contract with the federal, I was contracted. I was the prime contractor.
Did you do the dance? Did you do the shout? Did you?
You know, look, I was speaking in tongues and everything over here. Look, don't get me to talking. Don't get me to talking about what God has done for me. But I know we're talking about this here, so I'm gonna just stick to this. But no, really, I became the prime contractor for FEMA.
And so what does that mean? Okay, so you talked about DBE, you talked about SWAM. Everybody doesn't know what those acronyms mean. DBE
is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And then WBE is Woman Business Enterprise.
Small women and minority enterprise.
Well, that's SWAM. SWAM is small woman and minority. Then you have WOSB, which is woman-owned small business. You have different ones. Like I'm working on my 8A and I'm working on my GSA right now. But those females were looking for a small woman-owned business. So when they saw me in SAMS, which is another one you want to be listed under,
it's the federal. SAMS is the federal government's database. So you got a couple of databases locally for Hampton Roads as a state contract. If you want to be in a state contract, you have to be in the EVA system,
right?
Electronic Virginia, EVA.
Right. Yeah, correct.
So if you want to be in the federal government, you have to be in the SAM system, SAM.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So that's what they were looking for. That was a criteria. So I guess when they looked at everyone, and I tell you what I learned about federal, we know how much money they might spend, and you might think, oh, they got the money. They going with the lowest bidder. I don't care if it's you $1 more, they going with the lowest bidder. So when I put in for it, I actually had a contract at the FEMA in Oakland, California, where I was covering 16-hour shifts per day. So I was just doing staffing basically, and 7 days a week. So then so what you want to do is you always want to have good performance. So being a prime contractor and not one complaint or one issue looks good for the company. So while I was doing business with them, the contract officer was like, hey, I'm looking on the site, I got outbidded on some of the other locations doing the same thing I was doing. But she said, hey, another bid is going to come out for Rancho Cordova, California. I put in for that one. I won that one too. So it was just, it was just basically, I had no idea, but it was so simple how it came to me, because I used to hear so many stories of just even with my classmates of having certain certifications, getting outbid. It's just it's a task that you have to go through when you're going through the federal, things of that sort. But I was the prime.
So Donna's asking, how did you get the sub in California, or were you the prime?
No, I was the prime. I was the prime. I had never been the prime. I had never applied for a federal contract ever. I applied for the first time and was the prime contractor. I have staff nationwide. So I had staff providing the services 7 days a week.
So tell me about the staff. Tell me about the staff you have nationwide. How did you get staff nationwide? So Donna said outstanding, by the way.
Thank you. So on our website, you have a link on there for careers. You apply online. Once we get that information, we look at their experience. With Labs to Go, you have to have a minimum of 2 years of blood draw experience. Once we see that, we send your application. Once we get that back, we go through your background, we go through your references, we go through your experience and things of that sort, and we get you on board. So Labs to Go, pretty much, because we've been around for so long, people find us. And other phlebotomists, might tell phlebotomists to get on board with us because they're independent contractors, and a lot of them just want to work for themselves. So they go through the process of finding us online, and then you got to have really good SEO when it comes to the internet. So if somebody's Googling certain things, you want to pop up, because honestly, all the contracts I have nationwide was strictly from people who found me.
Now you're talking about now you're talking about some other alphabets that people don't know.
Right.
SEO, search engine optimization. What does that mean for your business? How do you use that for people finding you?
You have to have excellent SEO. And the thing about it is, you have to spend money to get results. At the beginning, I tried to do it all myself. I didn't know what I was doing. Again, let the people who specialize in things do what they do. You stick to what you know. And I started dealing with, getting developers, getting SEO experts, and letting them go into, a back end of my website, keywords, optimize it, doing it. And I kept them on a monthly basis, because I spend probably almost $5,000 or more a month in just SEO for my website and, ads and things of that sort. And you actually see results. And I definitely say the more money you spend, you will start seeing results in that. And SEO is so, so, so important
and powerful.
It's just no way around it.
That's amazing. I want you to know, if you want to be a guest on the Barbara H. Smith Show, you can apply at support@speakcoachtrain.com. Again, in order to be a person on the show, you have to apply at support@speakcoachtrain.com. You know what, Cheree, you have been an amazing guest. I want you to tell folks out there again how they get to your site. Not done just yet, but I want them to know, how do they get to your site?
So you can visit us on the web at www.labs2go.com, or you can give us a call at 757-490-8888. You can find us on Google, My Business, or just go to Google. You can see each location, but our website will provide all the services we provide right on the website.
Okay. Are you providing anything as a giveaway for anybody who mentions the Barbara H. Smith Show?
I will. Anybody who mentioned, I will give a free women's health panel, or men's health panel, which is what you would get when you go to your doctor for a yearly exam. Those tests, but we're going to give you a little more. So for men, say for instance, it's going to include your prostate, your sugar, your complete cholesterol, all your liver and kidney enzymes, your thyroid. Women, the same thing, except for no prostate. But you will be able to get all those. Yeah, and even that panel alone, out of pocket for a man is $160. A woman, $150. You go to the ER or you go and pay out of pocket for those tests. Trust me, you're looking at about $800 to $900. No joke.
Wow. So it's an $800 to $900 value. Did you hear that, audience? Mention Barbara. You saw Cheree Owens from Labs to Go on the Barbara H. Smith Show, and you get, one more time, Cheree,
a women's health panel or a men's health panel.
That is awesome. I appreciate you doing that on the show. We have our one final question I want to ask you. Donna says thank you. I want to ask you, if you had to do anything over again, as far as your business is concerned, what would it be?
If I had to do anything over again as far as my business is concerned, what would it be? I think I would probably open a location in every city every year.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. And so that could be your mantra for 2022.
Yeah, well, actually, I have it set up where I'm doing more of a partnership and not a franchise. So someone can actually own a Labs to Go, and it's pretty much as your own business, but you're not paying the high franchise costs, and you're not trying to refinance your house to get the business. Like with franchise, you got 100,000 or 300,000 and things of that sort. So because I understand how people want to become an entrepreneur, have their own business, and with something with Labs to Go, with our business model, and we stand on integrity, accuracy, family oriented, and I really treat my employees like people. And they work with Labs to Go and not for Labs to Go. And I like to really instill that for someone who wants to have their business, but continue with the Labs to Go model.
That is amazing. You have been such a joy to have on the show. I hope you've had fun.
I
hope
did, of course.
Our conversation. I just love you to pieces, and I'm so not that I should be proud of you, but I'm so proud to know you and know the business model you've created, and know that you're helping people everywhere. Thank you so much, Cheree, for being on the show.
Thank
and
you.
One last time, give them how they reach you.
When you need to know, contact Labs to Go, 757-490-8888.
And that's what I'm going to leave us with. When you need to know, call Labs to Go. Thank you so much for all of the information that you shared. Thank you, guests, Donna and Miss Rose. I appreciate you guys being out there. And those of you who are watching it on replay, make sure you ask for Cheree and tell them that you saw her on the Barbara H. Smith Show. Now, I want to just leave you with this. I'm doing a giveaway. If you are interested, www.bit.ly/Barbara H. Smith. I'm giving a masterclass away. Please do check me out, bit.ly/Barbara H. Smith. And I want you to know that coming in July is my first book ever, Unleash the Speaker Within. You won't want to miss it. You won't want to miss it. You want to get the pre-launch if you are so inclined to hear what we have to say. Listen, this has been a joy and a pleasure to spend time with you. Again, don't miss the Black Business Expo USA on the Black Business Network over the IBM TV network. We are streaming live June the 7th through June the 13th. On June 10th, I'll be on the platform talking about Unleash the Speaker Within. You have been a tremendous, tremendous guest. And I am so elated and ecstatic that you're here. Thanks for being out there, Rosa Marshall. Love and blessings to you too, my sweet. And I'm going to sign off giving you this last quote. Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small doesn't serve the world. That's my time, and I'm out tonight. Thank you for spending time and space with me. I'm Barbara H. Smith. I'll see you next week. Good night.